made you want to go up on a mountain? And two, why don't you just talk us through that experience and what you had to do, and when they told you, I think it was 3/4 of the way up, that you couldn't go any further.
Yeah, so again, I'd love to tell you that it's always been my dream to climb Kilimanjaro, not the case. Again, we wanted to raise money for charity, and I was raising money for the Meningitis Research Foundation at that time. And they said, do you fancy it? I agreed to it without really knowing what Kilimanjaro was. We looked into it. Other people had been up in a wheelchair. I wasn't up for that. So we set this goal to become the first person in the world to get to the top in a chair without any assistance. We set off day one, meant to take between 2 and 3 hours, took 6 hours in the wheelchair. Day two was meant to take between 4 and 5 hours, took 10 hours in the wheelchair. The next day, they told me that I was going to have to be carried because we were moving too slowly. I said, no, you're not. Gaffer taped, duct taped a pair of knee pads to my legs, knew that I could move out of my wheelchair quicker than I could in it, jumped out and crawled on my hands and knees for the 4 days to get to the summit. That's it in a nutshell.
So just to reiterate, you got on your hands and knees and you climbed up Kilimanjaro for 4 days. So what goes through your mind when you're making that decision?
I think it was a lot of pride, and I'm very stubborn. There was just no way I was going to get carried up that mountain. We'd raised £20,000 for charity. People had kindly donated me all that money, and I just couldn't let anyone down. And I don't really think I appreciated what I achieved until I got back and spoke to people about it. But at that moment, I just said, they said, we're going to have to carry you. I said, no, you're not. No way. I decided to, not take the easy route out and jump out. But I mean, I used to lay in my sleeping bag at night and cry. It was horrible. And that summit night as well. I mean, having done 2 London marathons, Kilimanjaro made doing the London Marathon look like doing the washing up. It was like a completely different ballgame. It became more about survival towards the end, I think, than it did a challenge. I just wasn't going to give up. I was hallucinating, stumbling over myself. But if you want, I think if you want a good kick up the bum, nearly dying will do that to you. And I'm guessing it's got something to do with that gives me this drive. I don't quite know where it comes from, Nick.
And it's interesting what you say there, actually, in terms of you didn't really realise what you'd achieved until afterwards. So you were just doing instinctively. You wanted to get to the top, but almost if at 3/4 of the way up they'd have said, "Oh, Aaron, it's fine to continue," and you'd have continued. It's interesting, actually, how it makes the victory, I suppose, all that much sweeter in hindsight. Yeah. But actually, just doing it, you were focused. It's incredible what the human body can do, really, isn't it? From that point of view, would that be something you'd repeat again, or is it done now?
If I'd given up, then yes, I'd have never forgiven myself. I'll be planning another trip out there. I never want to see that mountain ever again. I'm done.